Yeah, it's important to build up a stock of it, Mike. We have been casting it for a few days, so
Right.
variety in the floweriness is nice, right? Like,
You know, there's only so
need
many
some.
times I can wear the same shirt, in a row. So might be time for to purchase some new ones.
Yeah, for
Cignal
sure.
Ultra, their third pickup now. They banned out the Ember. We saw the Earthshaker ban out from Adroit now. They could go into that Pons 4 pick. They will.
Okay.
Mirana comes out.
I think it's fine here. It gives you a way of clearing out the Chen creeps. You have some way of playing with the disruptors, glimpse into arrow. It's a bit harder to land, but it's a possibility. So it's a solid pick. I think you look to Signal to try to win their lanes this time. With Mirana, you expect a lot more presence early. With Mirana, or at least steady EXP buildup, that's the least you could do. So they are setting themselves up there. And again, I think there's just so much value for canceling out the Chen creeps. Just constantly killing them off will hurt that Chen.
No, Adroit. It'll take time to think about this third pickup, and I do agree with those points you made. The arrow is going to be very, very effective up against the Chen this game. We've seen it multiple times as well. Like when you have a hero that wants to go for something like the Helm of the Dominator, it's just so effective to have the arrow because you're gonna just
Mm.
guarantee yourself 200 gold by hitting
Oh,
that arrow on a creep. Adroit, however, they will turn around now with the Kunkka. Their team fight is getting better and better as time goes on, and now you have an X for that Mirana and the Puck.
yeah. It's a lot of value. I mean, you're building up endurability as well. Like the boat buff with the healing coming out from the Chen, I think
Right.
it's gonna be very hard to actually bring a droid down. And we saw some of those issues in game one. So Signal, you start to look at them to maybe get heroes that are a bit more active in that offlane role for Van, maybe something that gives them the damage out, gives them the control on top of that puck. You will need it because Adroit right now, as long as their Kunkka can land the boat, then it's going to be so hard to kill them off once you have that Chen 6.
Ultra again. Reserve time dropping low. It's a bit of a challenging draft already to have to go into. They have to think about their every step quite carefully. Okay. Slark comes out. I don't mind this too much. But on the same token, I don't particularly like it into the Kunkka and the Queen of Pain, if I'm
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah, it's not amazing there. Your the dodging you get from your shadow dance is not great. Quap
No.
is going to be able to track you. Kunkka is going to be able to track you. You already have the X, and you can't dark pack the X off. It will bring you back with that counter. So I think the Kunkka is already just getting a lot more value here in terms of locking in one of these three slippery heroes. Just being able to lock the Slark is probably the best thing. So you start to look at the droid, they see the Slark, should be wondering what they want to pick up on their pause one roll. There are a lot of options, although Slark makes it a bit tricky, but perhaps you start to look at maybe some stranger pause ones. Maybe the troll makes an appearance here. You don't have the sustain from the Oracle, but a troll should be able to give you the damage and farm you'd want. Like Natsumi does play a pretty decent troll if they
Yeah,
wanted to bring that out here. And the
they could.
mischance, as long as the dark packs off, the mischance is going to hurt that Slark.
Yeah, absolutely. Even the Lone Druid would be decent. They go for the Enigma here, so Droid really going into that push. I really wouldn't mind that Lone Druid though, I gotta tell you, John. Because with the Slark, you've got to try and get to the hero. He can't still Essence Shift off the Spirit Bear.
Mm,
That the Entangle does kind of ruin Slark's day as well.
yeah.
And the Mirana, for that matter, and the Puck. And it kind of just adds on to the push you have for a droid. It's actually I would dare say it's the perfect pick right now for a droid if they wanted to finish this
Yeah.
draft off strong.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's a solid way to round it out. I think this Enigma is pretty scary from Adroit. Like, you do have good cancels. Disruptor can cancel it off fine. Puck as well has a decent time doing that.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
all
Yeah,
right. It still
that's
works.
an it does. It's an interesting pick. Going in here. You don't have the Disruptor Naga combo for Adroit, and the Disruptor's on the other side, but you have a lot of setup now to land the big black holes. The response from Cignal's pretty solid though. LC makes it hard for Naga to maintain that illusion spam. So there's a way of punishing there. You look at Adroit to try to balance out their lanes. This is a greedy start for Adroit. I mean, we're possibly looking at the Boomy Enigma, which does take farm. You know, it takes time to cook up. It takes
Good on you,
farm.
Boomy.
No, it's actually Boomy and Quap. Okay, so he has the Arcana too.
Good.
Great. It's the POS 4 Queen of Pain this time, and it's gonna be the offlane Enigma for Bensoy. So a bit of a shakeup in terms of timings, but still the same concept. You have to wait for the Enigma to be ready to shove out lanes. You have to wait for Boomy to be ready to take control. It's a slower start. Cignal, they should look to apply that early pressure. Their lineup needs to get a rolling start here.
No, that they do. If they do hold out or stall up against the Droid's draft, this game could be over a bit too quickly. I do like the LC at the end though. It does do nicely up against that Naga Siren to kind of finish this draft off. But it's going to be a hard LC game. Like, you've got the Kunkka boat buff, you've got the Chen heals, you've got the Enigma being played by Bensoy, who might actually just go for the Guardian Greaves himself if he wants to. Either way, there's just so much sustain that Van's real only job here on that LC is going to be able to catch out whoever he can catch out. And most of the time that is going to be Boomy. But in terms of duel damage, yeah, it's probably not going to be there. You might get 1 or 2 wins, but it's overall probably not going to be the greatest dueling kind of game here for Van.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky. Again, the control is much more important, as you mentioned, and Cignal, they have to take control not just of those heroes with the duel, but they have to take control of the game early, and wow, that really does look good in the showcase.
It does, except they kind of made it flop over. It's not. Should have just left her standing in the middle or something, but.
I can't hear you. But I went bad quick.
To be clear, if I call you mate, I don't
Guess
mean
we'll,
it literally.
For anyone that hasn't seen it yet, there is the Quap Arcana. Beautiful.
It's great. It's fantastic, and this is going to boost the morale of Bensoy for sure. The presence is going to give a massive
absolutely.
boost, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, he doesn't have a choice, John. So that's the whole point of the Quap Arcana, right? You don't really have a choice. It's just
No.
do what you're told, right? Bot lane, Jamesy's actually going to be there on the puck, so they're not going to run the mid puck this time. A Bat's going to take over the mid as the mid Slark, which up against the Kunkka, I don't really mind that. I do believe it will still be a struggle though. Like, although you can take Essence Shift off the Kunkka, Tidebringer is still going to hurt a lot.
Yeah, it's going to be a constant factor for a Cignal, for a Bat to really get that space going. I'm not sure how much more you're getting from this though. Like, I guess again this is just for the Slark. Jamesy should have a decent time bot though. This is something that can work out because the Enigma is just gonna have to again keep getting Eidolons out and farm in the jungle for the most part. So Bensoy's not gonna be super active, and that does put Boomy at the numbers disadvantage.
That does. They are going to actually find 4 bounty runes on Cignal. Wow. Okay. That's one way to start. I like that. Adroit literally don't find 1.
It's a good amount of gold to give Cignal a bit of a kick here at the start. So gonna have a little bit more regen on hand. I think this really helps out a Bat. He should be able to give himself a bit of a better time. He flies out his Wraith Band recipe. So just more stats to deal with his Kunkka.
Yeah, it's gonna need it.
Can't hear you.
A Bat. Starting with the old chat already, it's I don't know, it's a bit early for that. Mac, again, should have the upper hand, depending on how they play this out. But as you see, even that level 1 Tidebringer does so much damage to a Bat. He's only got 1 shared Tango left and a Fairy Fire. But if you can maintain the Essence Shift stacks up on Mac, then you can easily win this matchup as the Slark as well. It really is a game of outplay in this mid lane right now.
Definitely is, and I think Mac, as long as he maintains that EXP gain, you're fine, but looks like a Bat does have a bit better control in the lane with 2 denies, so Mac can't afford to bleed out those creeps too much, but it is tricky to trade there.
Well, down at that bot lane, we do see Boomy and Ben Soy there. Grims will also be around on that Disruptor with Jamesy. Gonna be a hard lane for Grims, I've got to say. Like, he's got the Thunderstrike. And no, you know what? I was about to say when he runs out of mana, it's gonna get hard. But he actually came into the lane with so many mangoes. And a clarity just in case. I do like that. Because you can't trade with the Quap when she uses Shadow Strike. So you've got to just spam Thunderstrike the best you can as Grims. Boomy's not going to be too dissuaded because it is only a level 1 Thunderstrike. So he'll just keep going on to that Disruptor. But now James is going to join in and he will be forced to blink out.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I think this is still giving Ben Soy some space to farm up. So you are still finding that. He even finds the Courier of Jamesy. So Enigma is not under too much pressure. It'll take a few levels for Jamesy to start bursting those Eidolons. So there is an opportunity here to just keep scaling.
Natsumi is having a decent old time on the Naga as well, though. You've got to be a little bit careful about that. Because Van does have the overwhelming odds into the illusions, which can really give him a huge bonus. And the thing is with Natsumi, he understands this and he's going to have to be a bit careful about how he does micro those illusions this game. The Riptide, however, will be quite devastating for Van. Like, you can definitely heal through it. But if you take a few too many, you'd be surprised how much HP you tend to lose. So he'll have to be a bit wary of that.
Yeah, it's one of the things with this matchup. It's just, it can go either way. I think the biggest factor right now is the presence of Eris. Eris is just kind of going around the jungle, getting some arrows off, finding that EXP, which does mean that it is harder for Van to exert some pressure, as being alone up against a Chen, not an easy time. Chen can really apply some early harass on.
Yeah, absolutely. Mid lane. Boomy does TP in, but he's going to be spotted there by Eris.
Step lively now. Your admiral is on board.
Eris now probably going to be spotted out by Boomy as they run straight into each other. He does have the leap though, so he's just fine to walk away from this scenario. I say that, but now CML's here. Nice juke on the arrow there with the creep. Eris still being chased down. He does still have one leap charge. Unless Mac gets an X now, he goes for the torrent and will end up missing.
Yeah, it's a bit of a waste of time from Cignal, and they are leaving their side lanes alone. That does leave, here's like Ben Soy a bit vulnerable, and you do see Jamesy making use of that, so a slight lead for Cignal in this early part of the laning phase. They are finding some decent farm so far, like Abat and Van are most certainly having better starts than they did in Game 1, and that's very important for both of these heroes.
That it is. Gotta say, Abat is really having a good old time in that mid lane. 26 and 7 on that Slark. Mac is actually just behind him on the 25 and 3. So the Slark in the mid lane working out for now. Top lane, Natsumi was taking quite a bit of harassment out there from Van. It's gotten to that point where the Naga Siren just does not feel comfortable fighting up against that Naga Siren. That was also a very, very nice salve cancellation out from Van, just using the overwhelming odds to cancel that off on Natsumi. And he's actually been left with no regen now, so he will have to be a lot more careful and more bot lane. Boomy does end up going down to Grims. We'll see Ben Soy trade with the supports, but First Blood does go the way of Cignal Ultra.
It's a really good start for Cignal. Just managing to punish Boomy for trying to trade there a bit too much. Is still stuck at 2. So there's a bit more damage coming out from our Puck and even our Disruptor, right, with the control he does have. So you don't want to push that envelope too hard, and that does give Cignal just a bit of a lead. 2k advantage at the 6-minute mark. They are most certainly working this early game to their advantage.
And that they are. We'll see if they can just keep it up, because this is the a similar story that happened last game, where they did have this early net worth advantage and the early XP advantage. It just didn't carry over. And we've seen this multiple times from Adroit as well. When they run this Chen draft, It does tend to be a bit slow at the start. But Ben Soy, bot lane, going to be in trouble now. Jamesy going to chase him down with the orb. Boomy's around the corner, but he really can't help at level 2. Even if Jamesy's missing half his HP, he feels comfortable enough to come back into that quap. Does take a few tier 1 tower hits though, and now we'll have to back out. But, they will continue dominating this game thus far, Cignal. Yeah, it's just going to be a matter of whether they can hold out. Because in all fairness, the Chen draft is a bit slow to start.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the Chen and the Enigma. I think both factors are really hampering Adroit's early presence because both heroes are just fairly greedy. Bensoy is just waiting to farm up, wants the Necronomicon 1, maybe the Blink right after. It really depends on what they look for, but again, it's just a slower timer for Adroit and Cignal. They have to maintain this pressure. They can't really afford to bleed this one out.
Almost got X there. Black Hole bot lane cancelled off by the Dream Coil. And Bensoy should be dead and does die. It's a bit of a problem there for, again, Adroit. They're losing that Enigma. And that was the first Black Hole being committed of the game, but it was just... It didn't catch out the puck, and she just cancelled a Dream Coil.
Yeah, it's not quite the way you want that to go, but Adroit are being forced to really be a lot more aggressive to get space for their other heroes, and this is costing them. I think Bensoy is just not going to have that good start he'd want, although you do see Mac maybe chasing a bot just a bit, but it's a Slark. He doesn't mind too much, and again, you look at Cignal, 2k advantage still at 8 minutes in. There is some decent farm coming out from Adroit, like onto Mac, but that is a Kunkka. You know, farm isn't as pertinent compared to the EXP. You do start to wonder, when would Adroit really be ready to fight? They smoke up.
Well, they will. Up towards that top lane, they want to try and go after Van. Boomy going to go for an early duel there onto, well rather, Boomy is going to get dueled by Van. However, Torrent Boat coming in. Bit of a sitting duck now, Van should end up falling here. He is a fairly tanky target, but with that Penitence and the X, it should be enough to secure the kill. However, at the bot lane, Jamesy does again kill off Bensoy.
That bot lane's really just a major issue. I think at this point, Bensoy should just stay in that jungle, but there are some really good wards from Cignal. I love this coming out from them. They're just keeping that jungle under constant surveillance and just makes it a lot less safe to find that farm in the jungle.
Makes it even harder when you have a Naga Siren who wants to be able to take the whole jungle for herself. So you can't really afford to take too much jungle farm if you are Bensoy, because then you are just naturally taking it off your own POS 1 carry. Bensoy again mid lane, gonna get jeweled up. He does have the help of CMO coming in, but it may not be enough. They do get the torrent, but Bensoy will die anyway. Now it's about seeing if they can get a trade back. Van falling low, CML will fall even lower and also die, and now a bat, he can just keep going. Eris is there as well. This Kunkka's in trouble. He's been pounced up. Mac will run, but the torrent now coming out with the Dream Coil though, locking him in. And Cignal fighting another 3 heroes in that mid lane. Boomy, he does see if he can snipe somebody, but he doesn't have the Sonic Wave yet. So he can't really make use of this quap.
Yeah, it's, again, the aggression from Cignal really paying off here early. I think this is really just from their draft. These heroes can fight fast. They don't need too much farm, and Natsumi's actually forced to song out. So the pressure from Cignal starting to be very difficult for Adroit to deal with. I think now that you have 6 and Boomy though, maybe you can find a couple of heroes to punish, but you're constraining yourself to a fairly long cooldown on that Sonic Wave.
I think you just have to though. You can't hold it. Just a nice little burst. Maybe they just try and force in that mid-tier 1 tower with CML, and that's where we see it being used. A bat is going to be there to try and defend the tower. They will not glyph yet, but now they will. X going to be there on a bat. They do have the boat, but they'll start off with the torrent. Dark Pact is going to be there anyway, so they'll be fine. But now Bensoy joins in, and this is when the push starts. Boomy is out of position, however, on that quap, and will get jeweled up. However, the heal and the boat will help. Now the Sonic Wave being committed as well in the black hole. It catches nobody. And Ben Soy doesn't stop channeling either. He just keeps going with it. Eris is going to try and run now on that Mirana. He's been X'd up, however, and will die. And they do get the T1. The black hole misses, but it won't matter. They still successfully take the team fight.
Yeah, it's a good turnaround from Adroit to find those pickoffs and the objectives. So they're starting to give themselves an opening. Drags that lead of Cignal down to just 1k. And you do actually see Natsumi and Mac pull ahead in farm. So these two heroes are starting to build up. I think the biggest issue is Natsumi. Like, this Naga Siren has not really been punished and is free farming. So look to Natsumi to finish up the Manta into Diffusal this game, just to play around with his team. And once that's up, the damage is going to be flying in. And Cignal, well, they don't have the best of ways to deal with the Naga going into the late game. So still a lot of pressure from Cignal to try to play fast, to try to get their own push out. And they are kind of clumping up for top.
That they are. Gotta make that push happen. T1 tower. Gonna go down very easily. Adroit unwilling to defend. They will start moving down bot instead. They do get the T1. Now Mac will get started. Those Chen creeps, there's a lot of them with those Eidolons, and that tower, when it wasn't glyphed, was taking a bit too much damage. The Eidolons will at least expire, but that tower still has absolutely zero chance of survival. Very easy tower to be taken by Adroit. Now mid lane, Dreamcoil going to be there on that support quap. They'll be in there with Grims as well. He's waiting out. Oh no, the kinetic field misses, but he doesn't blink out in time. So they still do get the kill. Van had a jewel available, but I think there was a bit of a panic moment there, and he may have just forgotten to try and secure the jewel win. And with that, they'll start pushing in mid, but a great torrent out from Mac into the boat. Doesn't really connect on anything. He does still go on the X with Van, and he's going to be surrounded by creeps. This Chen just blocks him up. Overwhelming odds will help a bit, but not enough. This is the Chen, John. It's at that stage now where CML's a real big problem, and in all honesty, he's not even there yet. He still needs the Helm of the Dominator to be up. There's one more coming.
It's a lot of control just coming out from CML's micro, and again, you've given Adroit space to bounce back with these heroes. They've rode through that rough laning phase. They've got the EXP up on all of these greedy heroes, and I think if you're Cignal, you did miss an opening, although a bot.
Yeah, a bat's going to try to go onto the Chen. You will have Boomy. He will commit the Sonic Wave now, but he's going to be chased down. Silence is there. Dreamcoil as well. Hand of God does come out now. Matt joins in. Ben Soy just commits the black hole, securing the kill onto Jamesy. But they will lose Boomy. Still, the X-Backs on a bat does mean he's going to die. Now Van also being chased down. They have the net. So Van should have no way out of this scenario. Does get netted up by the Chen creeps as well. And the Static Storm was okay, but just a bit late to the party, and now Grims is also going to die on that Disruptor. Or maybe not. No, they want it. The song committed. Will it reach? It's so close, but not quite.
It's still a really good trade for Adroit. They pull ahead in net worth now, less than 1k lead. Cignal in every single fight are forced to really throw everything they've got up against Adroit, and Adroit just are starting to find that foothold. And look at Ben Soy, saving up for the BKB on the Enigma. He just wants to be able to get that channel off, and it is going to be an issue once he's just constantly able to pin either the Slark or the Puck in these fights. You need these heroes to be mobile, and every single time when they're not, it's tough. And Mac,
great torrent. Gets the X off as well. Boat flying in. Did he just X back too early? No, he didn't. Jamesy, though, got the Dreamcoil off to cancel the X timing, but it won't matter. Mac does secure the kill again.
Yeah, it's tricky. You can't really afford to be forward anymore when you don't know where the Kunkka is, and they keep going.
Oh, X is there on a bat. They do get the Moonlight Shadow off in time. Boomy taking the front lines here. Doesn't have his ultimate right now. He'll blink away. Eris and Van going to continue chasing. They do have the Jewel, but they just don't have a blink to go in. Instead, they'll focus down these Chen creeps. Now they jump in from a bat, but Ben Soy will put the Midnight Pulse down on a bat. Torrent there as well. He does go Shadow Dance, but he's going to be completely surrounded. A bat needs to make a run for it. The Kinetic Field Static Storm will help, but Boomy is on the chase. Sonic Wave will come out again. Now the Jewel is there, but doesn't matter. Well, he gets the win, but he will die in the process. Now Eris trying to run as well, but he's been netted up. And it's just not working out very well for Cignal Ultra any longer.
No, it's it is slowly falling apart. That big team fight we expected this lineup to pull off isn't quite connecting. And Adroit, with what they've got, with the sustain they have on hand, are really starting to pull ahead. So 4K advantage now. I mean, this is not to me fighting without the defusal up.
That's a concern. Yeah, we'll just get stronger and stronger on this Naga Siren. A 4K net worth advantage now to Adroit. That was just 2K a few minutes ago to the way of Cignal Ultra. Looks like Jamesy was playing around there with Boomy down at the bot lane. He's just trying to skip the creep wave and avoid any more push coming out from Adroit. Does do a good job of it. They haven't got the Chen down here anyway. They're not really ready to make that tier 2 push yet. They're more than happy to just keep securing farm on Natsumi as time goes on. This will give time, however, for now Van to have that initiation tool on the LC. Natsumi, snare onto Eris. Can he burst him down in time? Boomy's there as well, and
Oh,
yeah, that's a concern. That's a long net time, and that's only level 3. He's gonna have a 5-second disable at that level 4 mark of the ensnare. And now for the Roshan. Kinetic Field going to be dropped. Static Storm, not yet. He'll hold on to that. Ben Soy actually TP's out of this, going up to towards the top lane. Mac going to set up on a bat.
No.
They do get the boat off, and now the Black Hole again will secure the kill. Now the Song, just to make sure the Aegis is there, though. Somebody has to pick it up. They haven't yet. Natsumi, he does get it in the end. And now the Dream Coil, the Jewel out. The Sonic Wave, though, being committed by Boomy, and Van just dies, losing another Jewel. It's a nice Static Storm, but it doesn't really do enough. And now James is being chased down by Boomy.
oh!
They are going to get the
not
Aegis.
to me.
Grims does get the Aegis there. Eris has been X'd up. They'll continue to just chase him down. Kinetic Field not really going to help. There'll be another X now coming out with the Torrent. Eris leaps. Nets are going to be there. Boomy on the case. And, well, Boomy might actually die trying to go for this, but no, he is just kiting out. Eris still trying to run. Jamesy trying to get the kill, but a great blink away. Then now the boat into the double Tidebringer. Boomy is still somehow out of there. Now the Torrent connects onto a bat. Mac is trying to make a run for it. Van has the Jewel and does commit, and he might win this one. And he does. Still a terrible team fight for Cignal Ultra, though.
Oh, definitely. It's not shaping up the way they wanted to. Adroit, they're feeling confident. They were teasing that Aegis for a while. Very confident, and they do lose it a bit faster than you'd want. You look at the build on Natsumi. Did he just build another Yasha? He did build another Yasha.
Why not?
Is he going S and Y? Yeah,
Why
you know
not?
what? Why not? Just stat batting. Remember last time we were seeing a queue up for the... What was it? The Sanjin Yasha and Yasha and Kaya. Or was it Sanjin Kaya, just for the stat padding on Ursa?
Yeah, we never got to the third one. That was the upsetting
No.
part. We
Yeah,
wanted the
that's-
whole
that's a bit
combo.
of a shame.
Yeah.
Still, let's see just how much this Yasha brings. It's a defusal next, so it's not too silly here from Natsumi. Just wants a lot of agi and wants a lot of right click. I can't blame him. He's been doing a
Yasha-
lot of damage.
Yasha's just great value as an item. Like, it's just amazing value.
8 knots and full ahead.
And, well, Adroit now looking to take over this jungle. I hear an X coming out. Mac, he did end up getting the puck, Jamesy, but he does still orb away in time. Mac is very confidently going into that tree line. Now bot lane,
no.
Song going to be committed. A bat has been caught. Bensoy, no black hole right now, but he has it in 20. Van gonna try and jump in. Bensoy, a nice BKB to cancel off that glimpse. And now they jump in. Sonic Wave is there. Still onto Van. He's in big trouble and he will end up going down. And with that, that tier 2 tower gonna go down very, very easily now to Adroit. Hell, they may even go high ground. No, they won't. They decide better of it. They'll defend that mid lane. Jamesy should be able to secure the tier 1 tower fairly easily, but Mac is rushing to try and get a deny off. He won't quite get there, but now perhaps an X. No, Jamesy blinks. Does show himself to the creep wave. He's still playing around with his life. Jamesy does get X now. Maybe going a bit too far though. Nice juke on the X-Pack. Now thinking about the courier. He does actually kill Mac's courier. And well, now into the tier 4s. Jamesy just going to blink into the tree line. And he actually is going to get away on this. The torrent. Oh, it connects from Mac. How does he know? Oh, and Jamesy is still on the run. But Boomy comes in, cleans it up.
Whew. That was brave. Very brave of Jamesy, but
Oh,
doesn't
bot
pay
lane
off.
as well, John.
I don't know.
Yeah, Van's dead.
Yeah.
Tries to run. Bensoy, do you want a black hole for this? He doesn't. Well, Van is actually going to survive now. Alright. That's fine, I guess. It's not that big of a problem. Mac is here now, though. A bat, don't run that way, sir. That is dangerous.
Oh,
he will try to Dark Pact it off. Torrent will not connect, and that means Boat will not connect either.
Yeah, it's a good save for a bot. Allows him to a little bit more time to play around. And this is an opening for the push, though. Like, that mid tier 2 is not going to stand. Adroit, they're going to take that objective. They don't mind.
We'll take the tier 2 mid. Natsumi thinking about trying to ensnare up this Slark. Have to be very careful about the X of Mac. Boomy gonna get X'd up now. Thinking about blinking in just for a quick bit of damage. Does get the scream off. And yeah, they're trying to. I think they were trying to get the jewel off on Van and force him to run down the hill, but it's actually a smart idea. But Mac now gonna X up the disruptor instead. Yules will be there, but that'll be another torrent setup. Though no, they miss. Arrow, poor Boomy cups in the back.
Step lively now. Your admiral is on.
Jamesy trying to buy time for his team. Mac wants the X off, but Jamesy still going, pulling the creep wave away now. Does force out the fort for the creeps. They're still hunting him down. Mac can't get the X off.
Yeah, it's a good distraction coming out from Cignal, just forcing the waves out. And this is going to stall that high ground push in. I think what they want, but at... Whoa, that's a very low flying plane. What they want with that X is just scouting.
Song. Oh, that's a good song. Catching out two right in a row. Mac gonna throw in the boat. Now the black hole as well. They do miss out on one, however. Van does blink out in time. Now Error's gonna be chased down. Doesn't have any leap charges left, but here comes the bat. There's that Dream Core, but the Sonic Wave has been committed again from Boomy. Now the Hand of God. A bat still chasing. He is forced to go into that Shadow Dance, and he may still die anyway. In fact, I believe he will. He's running. Does purge off the Spirit Vessel. Ensnare, not quite there. A bat, Moonlight Shadow now will allow him to get away. They could chase onto Natsumi, and they do. The Jewel going to come out. Bensoy with the Midnight Pulse. The Jewel will not be a win, but they do get a very, very important pick-off, and now they can try and get more. Bensoy, a bit of a sitting duck here. He can't really turn around at all. CML blinked in for... Well, he didn't even blink in. He just kind of got glimpsed back, I believe. They do try to get the TP off and a bat. Oh, he didn't have the pounce off in time.
Trust you guys.
But it's still a decent kind of couple pickups here for the side of Cignal Ultra.
Yeah,
They almost find Boomy as well.
Yeah, they've gotten themselves that kill onto Natsumi that they've been looking for a very long time. So, good punishment coming out. I think that black hole was really not the best. They needed to find an additional hero to pin down. And that did give Cignal the opportunity to fight back. So, they are still in this game. They are still finding stuff. And CML.
Uh-oh. Bat. Hand of God. Committed. Boomy jumping
Oh.
back in. Nice double torrent into a double boat. There'll be a Yule's out from Grims. He does drop the Static Storm, and now the Jewel is there on the Queen of Pain. Boomy in big trouble. He will die. Mac now pops his BKB. Ben Soy joining back in, but again, he doesn't have Black Hole. Now you have Natsumi as well. Going onto Van. Van really just stuck to take all these hits. He will die in a bat. We'll just continue chasing this Enigma. We'll get the kill. He has a lot of Essence Shift stacks right now. He has 36 in total. I believe he needs to fight back. He gets X back. Abat tries for the TP now. Does he make it out in time? He does.
Oh.
Good play from Abat. He did have the turn potential. He may not have survived it though. But he had a lot of extra stats going for himself.
Yeah, it's definitely not a risk he'd want to take, considering that they are still playing from behind here, Cignal, so still have to be a bit careful, and they do still find some good punishment. Killing off Bensoy and killing off Boomy are great. This is starving out or Quap, not really seeing the best progression beyond that Spirit Vessel for Boomy. Does queue up the Ags next. Just having easier access to that Sonic Wave is going to be important. I think you start to get worried about Max buildup though. I believe he is flying out his Ags, and that Ags is going to make it a lot harder to fight in the middle of these, in the middle of the Torrent Storm.
Oh, that it will. And there it is. He's got it up. You've got Jamesy with an Ags on the puck though. They're going to smoke up. Adroit checking Roshan, but it is 20 seconds away. Neutral item just on the ground there. Craggy Coat not being picked up yet, but Boomy does take it. Adroit back to that top lane. Tier 3, or Tier 2, not going to last too long, but they will fortify. It's going to be an easy taking, but they do take the bot Tier 1 here for Cignal. That'll be it. Teams just trading away some towers. Adroit, of course, do see the Roshan, so it's time for them to try and go for that. But a bat, that's a pretty big item he just picks up. The Eye of Skadi now available on the Slark.
It's going to make it a lot harder to find that sustain in these fights, and that's the cancellation we've been looking for on that sustainability build with Jamesy.
Yeah, he just kind of jumped in a bit too deep. He will try and orb his way out of there. Will be successful in doing so, and now Song going to be catching out that Slark. Moonlight Shadow may make it hard, but no, they just popped the black hole. They want to secure this kill. A great overwhelming odds. A bat, he's still alive. The Sonic Wave wasn't enough. Oh boy, that's not good news for Adroit. They're still going to go back for the Roshan, but no Song, no black hole. X going to be out onto Van. He'll just wait that X out. Mac going to be in a bit of trouble. Now Natsumi taking a fair bit of damage there on the Naga. They do Dream Call up 2 in the back. A Jewel out from the LC as well. Hand of God, Torrent Storm going to be there. It's going to be a great Torrent Storm because they're in such a small place. Eris will die and Grims will also go down. Now a Bat also losing his own life. Still, Ben Soy does die to Jamesy, but it's not looking great for Cignal. They'll lose their 4th in the LC. CML will be dropping low, but somehow still survives. Jamesy, he's coming back in. Boomy will have none of it though. Just blinks on top of him, and that's going to be a full team wipe.
Ooh, it was a tough fight, but Adroit does pull ahead, and somehow even with the execution kind of fumbling on that Slark, it does pay off. They do get the Aegis and Cheese, build up their lead to 9k, and it's that Torrent Storm. It just gave them the control needed. Mac just having the perfect use case for it and just really securing that win for Adroit. So they've got a lot more leeway now on Natsumi. It does hit the level 20 mark as well, so you're getting more illusion spam coming out from our Naga. Is going to be buying out the heart straight up. Wants to be a lot more durable. That durability has been a bit of an issue for Natsumi, so it's going to be harder to deal with now with that item coming in, and it's going to be a lot harder to try to find that kill on the Naga.
That it will be. You do still see moments of brilliance though from Cignal Ultra. They aren't out of this game yet. It's just got to be a Bat. He's going to make sure he does not die the way he did last team fight. That was a huge opening for them, not having that song All Black Hole up. They just couldn't make it work. Now Tsumi though, starting to fall low here on the Naga. Still Boomy jumps in with the Sonic Wave. A Bat again going to go for that Shadow Dance and will just run away. But the song, well, it has caught up the Disruptor Grims. They'll leave Boomy to deal with that. Now Van just being surrounded here by the end of Adroit. Nice static storm, however, but there's the black hole. Benzoy, he does catch two of them in there with the boats and Torrent Storm coming in. Now Eris also being caught out on the Mirana. 3 heroes down, no buybacks on either of them. Yeah, and Cignal Ultra, I mean, it's probably the best they've looked, but they're going to lose a tier 3 and more than likely a Rax, maybe even 2.
Yeah, there's nothing to stop Adroit. Even if they use their ults, they've still got the Aegis. They've got the heart up and running. There's
Look at
so
that.
much to have to eat through here. Oh.
Just annoying the Disruptor in the fountain. And they'll go for the secondary racks. They know they have plenty of time here. The main thing is, if a Bat's not alive, you can't defend this. There's nothing to scare off the side of Adroit.
No. Yeah, definitely not. And even that static storm, when it's down, that just means you're not having the best time in team fights. You need something to follow up from that puck, and that is going to have to be the Disruptor.
Now the bot.
There it is.
They
called it.
just called it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's not the best time for Cignal. Back-to-back 0-2s in their series, and that's going to be it for them today. Adroit does come out on top. They played better. Of course, they really just take control of those games up against Cignal, so better luck next time for Cignal. They really do have to start finding some wins, though, as, again, we're starting to wind down in the group stages.
Thank you for that, John. It is MLP johnxfire. There'll be a 20-minute wait for the next series, but it won't be that long. Usually it does fly by. Our next series is going to be T1 versus Reality Rift. If you're interested in that, please stick around. We'll be up in 20 minutes and should be a very, very fun series. We'll see you soon.